Hello, you're kicking off the Saturday's edition of QPVN English News Bulletin. You're with me, Linchi, and here come the headlines. General Political Department holds reunion towards 80th founding anniversary. Participants actively practice for Vietnam Defense EXPO 2024. Credit growth accelerates toward year-end target. On the morning of November the 29th, President Lương Cường and Cambodian King Norodom Sihamoni toured the Temple of Literature and enjoyed Vietnamese tea. President Lương Cường introduced to the King of Cambodia the historical significance of the relic site. President Lương Cường introduced to the King of Cambodia the historical significance of the relic site. The two leaders will also introduce the unique style and art of drinking tea of the Vietnamese. Enjoying tea with the Cambodian King, President Lương Cường expressed his delight at the stable development of the bilateral relations, with the trust and bond between their leaders and peoples of the two countries continues being increasingly strengthened. President Lương Cường voices belief that in his esteemed position, the King will continue to nurture the fine relations while supporting efforts to educate the people, especially the younger generation, about the solidarity and mutual sacrifices between the two countries and peoples, and pay attention to further advancing the Vietnam-Cambodia friendship. On November the 29th, under the chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, the 15th National Assembly continued its 8th session with lawmakers voting to improve the important laws. The law on fire prevention, firefighting and rescue was ratified with 448 out of 450 deputies voting in favor. Also on the working day, the National Assembly discussed the draft law amending and supplementing certain provisions of the law on inspection activities of the legislature and people's councils. Passed a number of laws such as the law on geology and minerals, the one amending and supplementing the laws on planning, investment, public-private partnership investment and bidding, and the revised law on public investment. The approved legislation seeks to address urgent issues in the legal framework in order to promote growth, control inflation, and stabilize the macroeconomy. On November the 29th in Hanoi, the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army held a reunion gathering delegates from the northern region on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of its traditional day, December the 22nd, 1944. Attending the event was General Ngô Xuân Lịch, former Minister of National Defense. Senior Lieutenant General Trịnh Văn Quyết, Chairman of the General Political Department, chaired the meeting. Senior Lieutenant General Trịnh Văn Quyết informed the delegates about the highlights of the world, regional and domestic affairs, military defense task performance, party building work, and typical results in implementing the political tasks of the General Political Department in 2024. The chairman emphasized that since the establishment of the Vietnam Propaganda Unit of the Liberation Army Team on December the 22nd, 1944, a party cell was established to lead on the work of the unit. There was also a committee for political affairs, marking the birth of the political cells in the military. That affirms the party's leadership of the military as soon as the military was formed. The founding day of the Vietnam People's Army is, therefore, also the founding day of the General Political Department. Senior Lieutenant General Trịnh Văn Quyết sent his best wishes to the veteran revolutionaries, the officers in the pre-uprising period, the heroes of the People's Armed Forces, the generals, the former leaders of the General Political Department, hoping them could always follow, incorporate, and have further valuable contributions to the General Political Department in the coming time. On November the 29th at Gia Lâm Airport, Hanoi, Senior Lieutenant General Phùng Sĩ Tấn, Double Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, head of the Organizing Committee of the Vietnam Defense EXPO 2024, chaired the inspection of training contents prior to the event. Involving more than 2,000 participants from agencies and units inside and outside the military, the opening ceremony is set to highlight a welcome flight performance of the Vietnam Air Force, a martial arts performance of the Special Force, and a service dog training performance of the Bodyguard Force. The number of aircraft on display at this exhibition will be greater than that of the edition in 2022. Senior Lieutenant General Phùng Sĩ Tấn praised the efforts and active practice of officers, soldiers, and artists for the opening ceremony, asking the forces to further uphold their sense of responsibility, continue to practice, complete the coordination plan, and solemnity during the event. Among the functions of a military ready for combat, ready for work, and ready for production, the function of the military ready for production has been paid a special attention to and well carried out by the Vietnam People's Army in the new situation. The military has been promoting the pioneering and core role in sustainable poverty reduction and new-style rural area construction, contributing to developing the social economy associated with building the defense potential and how people's defense posture in key remote border areas as well as on islands. One of the major tasks to fulfill the function of a military ready for production is building and effectively maintaining defense economic zones. Defense Economic Unit 337 Military Reason 4 was assigned to implementing the Khe Sanh Defense Economic Zone project in 14 communes of Hướng Hóa, Đắk Rông, Cam Lộ District, Quảng Trị Province. The ethnic people in the project area, especially the Bru Vân Kiều, have clearly seen the positive changes in the land of Hướng Hóa since Unit 337 carried out their task. The soldiers from Unit 337 helped us in doing cultivation to develop the economy. Now we can manage to make ends meet. The production teams of Defense Economic Unit 337 have also actively helped people cultivate more crops suitable for the local soil and climate conditions, such as cassava or passion fruits, while successfully building the banks of breeding cows, pigs, and goats to provide good breeds for locals to raise healthy livestock, contributing to increasing the value chain in agricultural production. With a number of practical projects, the unit has also provided households in the project area clean water, medical care, and built new concrete roads to facilitate local traffic. After more than 20 years of living and working with the local authorities as well as the Bru Vân Kiều people, the biggest change is the increasingly tightened military-civilian relations between the officers and soldiers of the unit and local people. When we first arrived, we were still bewildered. More than 20 years later, we are welcomed, delighted, and loved by the local people like their families. President Ho Chi Minh was taught that everything is 100 times more challenging with other people and 100 times easier with them joining. Along the borders of the fatherland, every positive change is witnessed a strong mark of solidarity, the bond between the military and the people. Coming up next, credit growth accelerates to year-end target. Policies to bring those misled back home. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has issued an urgent directive requiring the Governor of the State Bank of Vietnam to enhance credit management solutions for 2024, targeting an annual credit growth rate of 15%. According to the State Bank of Vietnam, as of late October, credit growth had reached approximately 10.08%, a significant rise compared to the 7.4% recorded during the same period last year. This marks a sharp acceleration in credit growth since the third quarter, signaling a strong likelihood of achieving the year's target. This company specializing in measurement equipment is ramping up its imports, with orders in the fourth quarter increasing by 30% compared to the previous quarter. A large number of year-end project orders are underway, including from domestic sources and factories in China and the Republic of Korea. The current interest rates, reduced by 0.5%, are encouraging for businesses and beneficial for investment. In support of these efforts, banks are offering loans to corporate clients at interest rates as low as 5.5% to 6.5% per year, while consumer loan rates range from 6.9% to 8%. Although the credit growth was slow in the first half of the year, under the guidance of the State Bank, we are now close to achieving our 2024 target of 14%. With current interest rates at relatively low levels, we are seeing a renewed focus on credit for production, especially in industrial sectors, which are growing faster than overall credit. Industrial credit has made its highest contribution to our overall growth since 2022. Additionally, registered capital by businesses has risen by over 20%, reflecting increasing economic demand for capital. It is estimated that approximately $26.2 billion additional funds will be injected into the economy in the final 2 months of the year. In order to stabilize the market and facilitate people's shopping during the upcoming Lunar New Year, the Department of Industry and Trade of Da Nang City has implemented a promotion program to stimulate year-end shopping demand with many attractive promotions. The promotion program draws the participation of many businesses, supermarkets, and shopping centers. Many products are deeply discounted by retailers. In particular, with a 60-day test program, the local supermarkets supply a maximum promotion limit of up to 100% of the total value of goods and services. In addition to promotional programs, supermarkets in Da Nang also increase their stocks by 20 to 50%, especially for essential goods, while coordinating with other forces to bring tech goods to rural and remote areas with stable prices. In the fight against hostile forces, the Communist Party and State of Vietnam have always maintained firm and decisive leadership to dismantle anti-state activities. At the same time, they uphold a passionate leniency policy, showing humanity and understanding toward those who have lost their way. For years, the Lai province has applied creative and practical methods combining economic development, social welfare, and the party's policies on ethnic and religious groups. These efforts have helped transform many individuals, guiding them back to their communities where they can relive their lives and contribute positively to society.
After serving a 16-year prison sentence, Siu-un returned home burdened with guilt. Nguyễn Thị Mỹ Lợi, understanding his struggles, regularly visited to encourage him and sought support from local authorities to help him start anew. When his family struggled with the COVID-19 pandemic, local authorities stepped in with both material and emotional support. They provided him loans, cows, seeds, and nearly 4,000 eucalyptus saplings. That's when he realized that thanks to the party and state, he could enjoy his peaceful life today. Carefully displaying certificates of recognition from local authorities for his effort in persuading those following the Daega protest movement to abandon anti-state activities, Siu-un has become a respected figure in encouraging others to return to traditional religious practices officially recognized by the party and state. Whenever I face challenges, the local officials are always there to help, whether with farming or other livelihood activities. These eucalyptus trees were planted just 2 years ago, and they were provided by the government. There are thousands more on my land. The party and state have treated me well, allowing me to practice religions freely. I encourage others, including those in Đắk Lắk, Krông Pa, and Gia Lai province, who still follow the Daega protest movement, to return to genuine faith and traditional religious practices recognized by the party and state. As for Yibon, also known as Zana, a former self-proclaimed governor of Gia Lai, under the so-called Daega autonomous state, he looks back with regret upon his past actions. The worst part was being with Phu Ro, hiding in the jungle, eating things no humans should eat. Their goal was to separate the Central Highlands from Vietnam, but I refused to go along. Luckily, when I returned, the authorities gave me and my people opportunities for education, religious freedom, and land. Only this path can bring peace and prosperity to our community. We've mobilized the strength of the community, trusted individuals and religious leaders to persuade those misled by Furo and the Daega protesting movement to return. These individuals then help others reintegrate into lawful religious practices. This approach reflects the party's policy of religious equality and respect, which has been effectively implemented here in Gia Lai. Thanks to these consistent policies, Gia Lai's authorities have helped many individuals turn their lives around. They have provided opportunities for these individuals to reintegrate into the community and contribute to building their homeland and the nation.
It is the end of the English News Bulletin. You can watch the news again at qpvn.vn. Goodbye and see you next time.